Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. My name is Yusef, and I'm here with my co-host Adam.
What's up, guys?
Today we got some ecstatic news. Xavi has been presented at the Camp Nou today after 24 years and in front of 10,000 fans at the Camp Nou. What an exciting time, Adam. I am very happy about this, but, I want to go straight.
Well, after 24 years of being in the Barcelona team, right? I think from like 91 to 2015, and leaving for 4 years to Al Sadd, Xavi is finally back. Will this be the moment of a rebuild that we look on to for years to come? Like Laporta said, right? Mm-hmm. He was out there saying, we've never seen this before in a presentation for a coach to react with this level of joy. It's all down to Xavi. It's a great day for all Barcelona fans and a day that will mark history in this club. Or if you're a pessimist, do you think that we're just replacing one Barca legend with another and this is going to fall flat? Let's see, because now we have, for the first time, Xavi speaking in front of the Camp Nou and a glimpse into what this possibly glorious rebuild is going to look like.
There's a lot of things he said in this presentation, which I'm happy about, and we're going to have some questions about them too. But in his first comments, he says, "In the first moments, it's important we put rules in the team. That's the first point. Then we talk about values, respect, attitude, effort. If we don't have these values, we don't have a team. But I will ask the players to have high standards because we are Barca, the best club in the world." So
boom.
He come out and saying like, "Hey, we need to get our shit together here, and we need to be a team. We need to have these values. We need to be cohesive. We need to be aggressive." He has comments about, or these comments in particular, saying like,
well, for me, what I think that means is, a lot of this video, I'm going to think back to, right, this Koeman stint and to even the Celta Vigo game. But one thing we were complaining about is, like, we don't have a leader out there yelling, right, when things are going wrong. And I feel like a little bit of Xavi's presentation was kind of like militaristic in a way, and talking about rules and talking about, training very hard to beget success. And I think part of what he sees, which is what we all see, is a very young team that's trying to rebuild, and then some older players who are under a lot of fire because their performances aren't there. And so I think what Xavi's trying to do here is start with kind of, not an iron fist necessarily, but with a strict set of guidelines. And the strict guidelines are going to let him have flexibility, right? If Pique and Busquets aren't playing up to the level, he said, hey, we have rules. The players who play the best are the ones that are going to start, right? He has rules so that the authority figures in the team understand kind of what the coach needs, and then they can be mad at other players. When you're under this Koeman's, regime, or under Barjuan's time, when it didn't seem like we had a good formation going and a good identity and play style, it's kind of a free-for-all. So you can get mad at other players, but there's no clear set instructions. With these rules that he's talking about, I think it's going to do a dramatic impact on our team. And, it kind of goes into a bigger point, which is that I kind of set up earlier, right? Like this tale of two cities. Is it going to be Xavi as a rebuilding of the entire team back to glory after, at least 1 year, if not 2 or 3 of hardships? Or will it be like Koeman, where we put in a club legend too early, we don't have the money to get signings, and he's going to flop? And and of course we do as Barca fans, as the Barca Breakdown, want this to be the glorious rebuilding of our team back to competing for Champions League and La Liga every single season, then it's really going to have to be a ground up, just demolition of the old and in with the new. And I think Xavi is saying all the right things, right? And he is saying and laying the groundwork for the success that we need to get. But as is always the case in life, self-awareness is half the battle. So it will be the implementation that follows up that we'll see, how to judge him. But like you're kind of alluding to, Yus, I know I'm being a little pessimistic. It's a great start.
No, definitely. And, one of the things that strikes me most is that over, the last year, we had players coming and leaving Barcelona saying like, hey, the training was not intensive, right? And I think Xavi came out and said here, we have to train hard. We have to make the utmost demands of ourselves and go out there and enjoy ourselves. So I think he has kind of like the mindset of, we need to definitely work hard. We need to set our standards. We need to move forward and, move as a team, but also at the same time,
though, he also, right, we have news today that 2 of the doctors in the physio team are gone. And so we're already seeing, not just in words, but already a little glimpse of action. Now, whether that comes from the board or from Xavi himself, not entirely sure, but the timing does let you think that Xavi has some impact here. But it's clear that we're making the moves we wanted, right, which is 2 members of the physio team are already gone.
Yeah.
I think what...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think what is most important for me is that Xavi's really talking about not just structure, not just rules, not just training, which are all vital, but he comes out and he says, right, I am ready. My DNA has not changed. My idea is that the team is dominant, has possession of the ball, creates chances, and plays intensely. We know the philosophy of Barca. We have to restore a lot of these things to this team. He also goes on to say, I have learned a lot from all the coaches I've worked with, like Pep, Ricard, and Enrique, and I am very lucky because I have this experience to pass on to the players. And so that's what's beautiful to me is Xavi is coming out and saying, like, hey, I want to get us back to the Barca style. I want us to get back more to what Cruyff and Guardiola were playing, right, rather than, like, you know, some of the era of, like, Valverde, which I think was more, like, defensive, ready and willing to let Messi score 1 or 2 goals to win the game. And so that's what we need, right, is him to come in and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try and reinvent the style of this team back to what it was because that's what's going to achieve glory, and that's what the Barca fans want. A lot of this entire interview by Xavi and the whole presentation really beamed with a certain love for the Barca fans, and that's going to be very important because he needs us and we need him, and you know he really needs us to have patience because, like I said, if this is not going to be a Koeman situation, it's going to be a rebuild that's going to take a season or two to really, you know, get into full effect.
Sure. I think he also highlights the fact that we need, as a team, to make some sacrifices, and you did highlight it earlier with saying, like, some senior players, you know, if they're not performing, whoever is performing best at the time should be playing. And I think those are the sacrifices we're sort of talking about here, is that we need to revert back to the style, but we also need to, you know, nurture the growth in these young players. And, you know, if the older players are not performing well, we need to put the players who are performing well. The older players need to make a sacrifice to, you know, be those leaders and say, hey, you know, I'm not doing so well, but maybe I can do something else. And that may be even in training to get players to get better in that case. But I think 100%. I think he really wants to go back. Go ahead.
Go back where?
Oh, sorry. Go back to an older style, the Barca way, I really should be saying. But, you know, growing and nurturing those young players and basing the team around the future of Barcelona here.
100%. I mean, he comes out, right, and I think he was asked a question about, like, Umtiti or Lengelet, and he goes, well, I haven't worked with them before, so I don't know yet. All the players at Barca will start from scratch, from zero. But I can't comment on how Umtiti or Lengelet are only from the outside. I want to see them for myself, right? And so, like you're saying, he's coming out and saying, we're starting from scratch, from zero. Like, what players in the past have done is not going to rule me here. And that was a big thing we talked about, I think, a video or two ago, where we were like, hey, what's going to really be the testament to see how serious Xavi is on rebuilding this team and making us the best we can be is if he's going to have the gall to bench Pique if he's not playing well, or Busquets if he's not playing well, right? Because those are his friends. And he kind of, in his interview, talked about, there was a question posited to him, like, hey, Xavi, we heard you don't feel comfortable training your old players. And he said, that's not true at all. I know Ter Stegen, Alba, Pique, Busquets, Sergi Roberto. I know them well, and knowing them is only going to help me push them harder because I know what they're capable of. And so it's going to be so interesting to see kind of how this Xavi versus his old teammates versus the youth is going to play out in the next few weeks and months. Yeah,
and I think that's going to be put to test come in November 20th when we play Espanyol, because that is obviously a tough game we always come to. And then, you know, he came out and said, I want to get our ideas across as soon as possible and go out and compete in the first game against Espanyol. That game is a massive rivalry for traditional Barca fans. We'll prepare to win the derby because Barca is only about winning or winning. This team never settles for a draw and is never happy to lose. Hard work and big demands. That's the only way to return Barca to excellence. And I think that's just, again, highlighting the fact, and, you know, talk is cheap here, though, right? We're talking about all these good things, how this makes us feel, and I'm definitely excited about those things, but we want to see what happens between the game against Espanyol and what comes after that, right? Because we've had Koeman and Valverde say it is what it is after an undesirable outcome, whether it was a draw or loss, you know, especially in Champions League over the last few years. But in this case, like, we are happy about it, but we want action, right? So,
well, yeah, I think one other way to say that is that it's really easy to say the right things, right?
Yes.
If you took Koeman or Valverde's initial interview about the team, I'm sure they said we want to follow the Barca style. We want to train harder. We want to, this club's only about winning. Everyone can say these things. It's just about how much they can live and breathe these things. And, Xavi, of course, being the most recent legend to come back to our team to coach, there's a clear remembrance for what he meant, for how consistently he was excellent, of course, for Spain and the national team winning the World Cup and the 2 Euros, and then for Barcelona winning those Champions Leagues and La Liga titles. And so from him, even though talk is cheap, and Koeman and Valverde said the same thing, you do just feel more confident as a fan, right, when it's coming from Xavi, because we have played it up, right? We're building this up to something a lot more than it was when Setien or Koeman came on, right? I feel like those were all managers who came in crisis. And Xavi is not coming in. I mean, of course, we are in crisis, but he's coming in after the team looked for their best possible coach, right? There's no rumors you're going to hear right now out of the board or out of the Spanish media, whether it's from Madrid or Barcelona, saying like, oh, this decision wasn't 100%, and there were doubts, right? When we got Setien, there were doubts. When we got Koeman, originally Bartomeu was behind him, but then Laporta in the summer says, hey, I don't want Koeman, right? And so with Xavi, he's coming in on a clean slate, and he had other opportunities. He talks about how he almost took the team, Barca, their calls in 2020 twice when Bartomeu called him, but he didn't feel it was the right time. And he also talks about how he had a chance to coach Brazil for the World Cup in 2022. So it just shows me that Xavi chose his moment to come, and this is it. And the board is in the position where this is the man they wanted, and that is the perfect harmony, I think, to see a good season up ahead.
No, I totally agree with you. Those are awesome comments. And I want to leave this one up to you, though.
Is it about Dembouz?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's what... Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. That's what has me the most happy. Xavi comes out and talks about Dembele, about how he could be one of the best players in the world at his position, and how he has spectacular abilities that can make a difference. Big difference here at Barca, and that's what I want to hear, Yus. I want to see Dembouz out there so soon. Oh,
that's what won you over, huh? The Dembouz comments.
Yeah, not the Champions League titles and me loving him as a child, but Dembele.
But dude, okay, with all of that, to wrap this video up, right? We have so many hopes here, and we're very excited about this. But we're still with a team that has many injuries, as we saw. Nico, Fati, and Eric Garcia all came off the pitch against Celta Vigo 3-3. Yeah, so we're still in a tough place, and I hope this will be able to flourish coming into November 20th against Espanyol. But we have that international break, as we know right now. So with that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back covering some more news in FC Barcelona, and of course the FC Barcelona game. Or
thank you guys.
Espanyol game.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.